I believe that every single time we get defensive, we will always be in power struggle. And I believe that power struggle is actually the most pervasive and least recognized addiction on earth. If we think about that for a minute, when we're addicted, some of the characteristics are that it becomes more important than family and friends, or even more important than how we do our job. It can become progressively destructive, and I think the same thing is true of power struggle. We tend to want to win that power struggle in the conversation, even with somebody we love a lot. Somebody may make a point that we think is a really good point, but we're in the power struggle, we want to win, so what do we say in our head? Well, maybe you've got a point, but I'm not going to tell you. So we are often, when we're in power struggle, using power in a way where we're trying to get power over the other person. It may not be to be mean or cruel or to be totally dominating of the other person. I may just be trying to get enough power to get you to hear me, to get you to listen to me. But as long as I'm in power struggle, I used to think of it almost as a spell that we would be under, because it's so hard to get out of it. You know, once you're in power struggle, even if you realize it, how easy is it to just say, oh gosh, I'm sorry, I think I was feeling defensive and I was getting in a power struggle with you. Once we're in it, it's like we're caught. And I think that's that addictive quality. People use a lot of different words to describe the thing that we're addicted to when we're in power struggle. And in fact, sometimes people just say power is addictive. We hear that in movies. We see it, we talk about it. But also we might use words like the need to be right, the need to win, the need to dominate. Any of those kinds of things are ways that we're using power where we get hooked into it and it takes a hold of us, and then it becomes, I think, incredibly difficult to communicate with our full integrity. At the same time, I'll refer back to something that I said in another video, which is that most people say it takes a nanosecond to get defensive, and that almost everybody on earth, if not everybody, can get defensive in a nanosecond. So if we can get defensive in a nanosecond, and as soon as we're defensive, then we're also in power struggle, and if power struggle is addictive, what it means is that we are actually, most of us, probably moving in and out of sort of addictive functioning in our lives on a daily basis. And this means that the whole process of learning how to not be defensive and to find alternatives to using our personal and our professional power in the world in ways that are healthy means that we're confronting something as serious as a major addiction. And the last piece I want to say about this is that I believe that power struggle is the core addiction, because it's my own personal belief, and I think many, many millions of people share this belief, that one of the greatest human needs is to be able to be a part of that web of connection, to be a part of a sense of community. And when we're in power struggle, a fascinating dynamic happens, which is it's almost as if I'm pulling on you and you're pulling on me, and we are simultaneously bound to each other and alienated from each other. And that's true whether you're somebody at home that I love more than anybody on earth, or whether you're someone in the community that I think has values that are dangerous to the community. So it's actually like, in a sense, a form of bondage. And as what I think of as a core addiction, it really means that many of our other addictions may arise out of power struggle. Because when I'm in power struggle, when I'm alienated, there's a void. There's something in me that can't be fulfilled. And so when I'm in that kind of state, then it's very easy to say, oh, I think I'll go have a glass of wine and relax, or maybe I'll have a piece of cake or go shopping. So for me, along with my belief that defensiveness is the greatest glass ceiling on our human potential, I also have the belief that defensiveness always leads to power struggle, and power struggle is in fact a core addiction that impacts many of our other addictions. So imagine for a moment what it would be like if we could learn how to communicate without getting defensive, without having to be in power struggle, and the level of freedom that might give us in our lives.